Get up.
He is the one.
What is up, gamers? Mr. Clean here, and yes, I'm still alive. It's been a fat minute since my last upload, and I do apologize for that. No excuses other than I've just been busy with life and haven't had the time to properly put into making quality videos. But I'm not going to really get into that. I just want to quickly say thank you to everybody that's stuck around, and let's get straight into it. I'm Colonel Cal, and today you're going to be learning the real essentials of how to play Predecessor. We're putting aside builds, patches, and macro play, because we're going micro, baby. We're going to be introducing the mechanics that separate reasonably good players from great players. Micro play, when you boil it down, is the art of controlling your hero in this moment to win the fight right in front of you. So stick around, because by the end of this, you'll have real Paragon level techniques to dominate your next match. So first I want to quickly go over the terms that we covered in our other videos, just so you're caught up to speed if you haven't watched them. Macro plays are you as the strategist. It's knowing when to take fights, when to push the map, when to rotate for objectives, while micro level play is usually you as the frontline soldier, your ability usage, your movement, your positioning, ability accuracy, and every split-second decision within that fight. So if you want the truth, macro play is going to help you get to the fight, but micro is what's going to help you win the fight. You can basically have perfect macro skills and be everywhere at the right times, but if your micro sucks, then
Skill issue.
still probably going to lose the game. So I want to start off with the most basic micro mechanic that there is, and that's pointing out that your character is not a turret. You don't have to just stand still in the middle of the lane auto-attacking and dumping your abilities on the minions. This makes you a very easy target to hit with your enemy's abilities, but even just moving in a straight line isn't necessarily gonna cut it in most situations. You need to start thinking about having a toolkit for your movement. For most ranged matchups, that's going to be stutter stepping, circle strafing, and usually jumping. So circle strafing might sound pretty intuitive, but instead of just like tapping left and right, you're moving in a half circle to alternate between sideways directions. When you're doing it right, you'll kind of look like the Sandwalkers from Dune as you maintain momentum, making you a much harder target to lead. Then next up, stutter stepping is the art of dipping in and out of your opponent's basic attack range. This one's kind of self-explanatory as well. You just hit them with an auto or an ability, back up until it's back off cooldown, go back in, rinse and repeat. This works best if you're an ADC or a ranged player, because you can more easily kite them in and out of that range, but it does work for melee heroes, especially in offlane when you're dueling your opponent. Getting them to whiff an ability or something gives you a perfect opportunity for retaliation. Finally, jumping is a very underrated but crucial tip to help you avoid a lot of damage. Some heroes and items like Skylar and Gaia Greaves can amplify this, but there is a catch, and this is something you have to be very careful of, because when you jump, it makes your landing spot very predictable. There was just recently a change that made your airborne mobility quite a bit better, but you still have to be careful, because if you're playing against like a good Richter or something, he's going to know where you're going to land and have that hook ready to give you the good old suck right back to him, and it's all over from there. Skillshots are one of Predecessor's most defining features. But to boil it down quickly, in order to find success, you have to be more precise than your opponent. You have to land your skill shots while also dodging theirs. For most aiming abilities or basic attacks, you need to lead your target a little bit. Don't just aim right at them, aim where they're going to be. You want to pay close attention to your opponent's movement patterns and decide when to bait them, corner them, use the geometry of the map against them. Whatever you gotta do, Sometimes you even want to hold your abilities, because the threat of a howitzer missile can usually zone somebody a lot better than you just straight up missing it. Bonus points if you can get your opponent to start just breakdancing in the middle of the lane. The longer you can get them to do that, the more of an advantage you'll have. Then to circle it back around, for dodging, you need to have very unpredictable movement patterns. Like I said, don't just walk in a straight line. You need to hit them with the A, D, D, A, D, D, A, whatever you gotta do. Everybody has their own kind of patented movement technology, but sometimes as counterintuitive as it might sound, sometimes just walking straight at an opponent like a Richter can get them to miss because they're trying to overpredict where you're gonna be. Now this is something that comes really into play in every lane, but especially in the off lane. And we're going to be talking about trading patterns. You have to read the body language of your opponent here. Where is their hero facing? Where are they moving? And with this information, you can usually tell what they're going to do right before they do it. Watch their abilities like a hawk. If you see Grux, for example, use his pull on the minion wave to try and clear it faster, you have a perfect opportunity for the next 15-20 seconds.
If you or a loved one has been scammed like this complete bullshit, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Please call 1-800-RG-SAUCE
to do whatever you want to him. Because he only has 2 abilities on cooldown and you have 3, you've just created a micro advantage over him. A big tip to keep in mind if you're a jungler as well is before you make a gank, you always have to ask yourself if your opponent has an escape. One of the reasons Gideon is such a strong mid laner is because not only does he have a blink like all the other heroes, but he also has a teleport just built into his kit, so technically he has 2. That means in most high level lobbies, a lot of junglers I've noticed don't even try and go gank Gideon because he just has so much mobility and it's usually just a waste of time. So choosing when to gank and knowing what can happen is a huge part of making those decisions. So now that we've kind of covered the basics, I want to talk about one of the most important pieces that a lot of people kind of, especially in the lower ranks, overlook. And this is you want to use as few of your abilities as necessary. A perfect example that I see all the time is, let's say you're playing as Chimera. You don't have to just leap in from a mile away if you have the element of surprise. I need you to stop being lazy and take the extra couple seconds to walk in behind them so they can't automatically see you coming. They'll also be less likely to have wards there. If possible, just start with your basic attacks. They're going to be panicking, being like, oh shit, he's right behind me. That way, if they do use their blink, you still have that opportunity to use your leap off cooldown and close the distance. Their body language is going to be super telling in this situation, and you can usually tell exactly what they're going to do, and you can either use your blink right after as well, and this will give you a little bit of a heads up to just counter whatever they're about to do. Before I even knew that Predecessor was a MOBA, I used to refer to it as real-time chess, and with that you have to really play mind games with your opponents, because usually something like the threat of your ability, like the Howie missile I mentioned earlier, is going to be more effective at zoning and having your opponent respect you than just you whiffing it. Now they know it's off cooldown, and it's usually not a good outcome. Another point to really drill down the ability usage is that every single ability has different cast times, response times, and chaining them smoothly is going to be your bread and butter, as well as animation canceling. This is mostly relevant for melee characters, because you can often hit an auto attack and then immediately use an ability to cancel the end of your auto attack animation, giving you a couple split seconds to deal out more damage. If you have a main hero that you enjoy using, you need to go into practice mode and drill that hero's burst combo into your memory. You need to figure out if it's a basic ability, basic reset, or is it ability reset into another ability. That fluidity is going to be the difference between you getting the kill and your opponent getting away with 50 HP. So again, to reiterate, macro wins games, but micro wins fights. And fights usually win the game. You don't need to learn all of this at once, just pick one thing this week and focus on never standing still while attacking. And then the next week work on your jukes. These skills are timeless because they're going to make you a better Predecessor player not only today, but tomorrow and any other game you play, taking these tips forward. So with all that, let me know what the micro tip that you struggle with the most is, and I'll see if I can answer any questions down in the comments. If you enjoyed the guide and would like more Predecessor content, obviously I'd love the like and sub. It helps me stay motivated to keep making these types of videos, and genuinely helps out the channel more than you probably know. If you're interested in watching me play live, I stream on Twitch almost every day that my schedule allows, starting at about 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the last thing is, if you want to play games with me personally or just join a huge, great Discord community, we have over 300 members and regularly play custom games, challenges, and any other thing that you can think of. Link will be down in the description. Until next time, peace out.